Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to episode 6 of the Nothing to Play podcast, a mediocre podcast about video games, movies, and chlamydia. As always, it's your boy, Just in Time Carter, and this week we have another special guest on the podcast. He's notoriously known across the Midwest for masturbating in Arby's. We have Troy Smith.
Oh, too true, unfortunately.
Not allowed back at that Arby's anymore.
Yeah, no. I mean, when they ask you for Arby sauce, I would just turn it down.
Dude, how have you been?
Pretty good actually. I moved to Seattle last year, and it's been probably the best year of my life, to be honest.
I can't believe It's already been a year.
I know.
So
it's crazy how time continues to move forward the same distance constantly.
But I was like, Seattle life is treating you good though?
Yeah, I have a pretty good job where they're training me a lot of stuff, training me to do a lot of stuff. I just moved in with my girlfriend, and she's amazing, and I have a dog, which is a huge handful. He's a fucking monster, but I love him too. The food out here is amazing. Like, oh my god, there's so much Asian food out here I didn't even know it existed. Like, I don't know, I've never had Vietnamese food, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, dude, every time we go to Portland and Seattle, I just stuff my face for like a week straight because everything I eat, I'm just like, every place we go, that's like the next place is like better than the next, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, so good.
Yeah, and also it's just beautiful. I live like right by the sound, so you can see like there's so many beaches all around, and it's ocean water, so you can see seals one day, or like a couple of friends of mine went just out on a boat, like not even too far, and there was a bunch of dolphins out there and shit.
Dude,
like,
yeah,
awesome. And you drive. Over Labor Day weekend, I went up to Mountain Baker, which is pretty close to the border of Haneda. And it was just fucking like heaven. Like, it was insanely beautiful. There was this lake there called Diablo Lake. It was so blue, like it didn't even make sense. Your brain couldn't comprehend how blue this water was.
I was like, whereas you go Salt River tubing here, and it's like you can't see your feet, even if it's 5 feet below the water.
Yeah, it's basically mud and drain water.
Shit. Dude, I was like, we used to go Salt River tubing every year, my family, and I just remember one year when we went, my cousin straight up shit in the river, but he shit against the current, and then he was trying to outswim it, and it smacked him in the back, and he screamed.
That's an Arizona story right there.
Exactly. I'm like, if you've never been Salt River tubing, that's the sum of you're gonna get burnt to shit, and you're going to get to the end of the river and not know where your friends are or where your vehicle is. And if you never wear a white shirt or anything that you value to the river.
Yeah, I remember I went one time when I lived in Arizona, and I'm pretty sure I lost like 4 things. I lost like the shoes I was wearing, I lost the shirt I was wearing, I almost lost my phone, but I like dived in to get it.
Oh my god. Dude, I didn't go with them, but like Matt and Chris and Chris's sister and like all of them went Salt River tubing like one year when we were all living together. I think I had to work, so I didn't go. But fucking when they went, Chris like got separated from them and ended up with some other group of people, and like they just kept feeding him booze, and he drank like a shit ton of like, I think it was like Jack Daniels or Jim Beam, something like that. And he got so fucking obliterated that by the time he met up with like Matt again, like he couldn't walk. Like, so Matt was having to try to carry him. And so there was a cop there, and they cited Chris for being like too intoxicated in public. But then that same day, Chris's sister, who was under 21 at the time, also got like obliterated, and then a cop cited her. So both of them had like court on the same day for like being intoxicated in public. Oh, so good.
That's awesome. There was a time I was in Arizona, and the cops arrested a bunch of people. We were all underage and drinking, and like me and two other people from the party all took the same like underage drinking class together. Like we didn't know it, and we all showed up. We're like, oh hey, I remember where you got this ticket. I also got the ticket there.
I was like, speaking of being obliterated, I was going to bring this up later in the podcast, but since it's on topic, I was like, one of the last times I actually remember seeing you was when you came over to the apartment after we like presented our game at Collins, and you drank like all of what was left of like this really shitty vodka that we had. And then we talked about how we had the same testicle surgery, and then you went home, punched a light pole, and broke your hand, and then the next day did not remember our bonding moment at all.
Yeah, that sounds like a story that might be about me. Uh,
It's in your
like
autobiography.
yeah, probably. Yeah, man, college I got ripped, man. I was drinking so much. Now I actually don't really drink all that much, if you can believe that. I'll drink like a couple beers at a concert or at a party, but I don't really drink anymore.
Yeah, it's like the same with me. Like I only ever really, and even then, like I can't even tell you the last time I had hard alcohol. I'll usually just have like maybe like a cider or two, like at like a social event or something, and that's like, or like a margarita somewhere, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, like I used to be able to bounce back no problems. Like, all right, let me have a whole fifth, an 18 pack. Let me also do some shots, and then the next day, like, all right, let's take a test. But now it's like I have stuff to do the next day. If I drink too much, I'm out like the whole next day, and I have a headache the rest of the week, and I have terrible shits.
Dude, I fucking wasn't even drinking. Like we just got Gears of War 5 and Megan wanted to play last night and it was like 8:30 and I was like, dude, I'm ready for fucking bed. Like I was like I can't, like we bought energy drinks and everything, but I'm like, dude, it's not going to wake me up. It's like I'll be just as exhausted, but my heart will be going like 3 times as fast. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, no. I was like, we need to go to bed. I'm tired.
Yeah, no, I feel it. The struggle is real. I actually just downloaded Gears of War 4. Actually, oh, you have Microsoft, so let me ask you this. Have you ever done the game sharing stuff?
No. I know people that have where it's like you share your library. I think kind of like you do with Steam. I know people that have and stuff, but I've never done it.
Alright, so a buddy of mine who has Microsoft, he gave me his password so I could sign it in. And we can, not only do I not have to buy the game, I don't even have to buy like Xbox Live, and I can play live games with him that he bought. That doesn't seem to register at all in my like. I don't understand how this works.
I mean, that's like honestly because of Gears, this is like the first time I've even turned. I've actually mainly been using my Xbox as a machine to watch SpongeBob because the PlayStation 4 for whatever reason doesn't enjoy recognizing MKV files where the Xbox has no problem. So I have like a hard drive with like 6 seasons of SpongeBob on it that I've been plowing through watching.
Yeah, nah, that's what I have PlayStation, which is where I play my games. Like I've been playing a bunch of Red Dead Redemption still. I'm still on chapter 3, even though I've been playing the game for like a year and a half. And then I'm really excited for Borderlands 3. And then my Xbox has just been my Netflix machine. Like that's all I use it for.
Yeah, the only 2 games I like, well, 3 games I legit own on Xbox are Gears of War 4, Skyrim, which I solely bought because of mods on Xbox One, and Final Fantasy 15, which I only bought it on Xbox because at the time my PlayStation only had the 500 gig hard drive and it was like maxed out, where my Xbox had nothing on it because I didn't have any games, so I bought it for that. And then now Gears 5, that's like the 4th game now.
Yeah, my PlayStation's one of those 500. I've been here's where I'm debating. I want to buy a new PS4. As also this Black Friday, I'm getting a 4K TV. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I have to punch grandma on Black Friday. Like I'm getting like at least 60-inch 4K TV. And then I found out my PlayStation and Xbox doesn't play 4K videos. So I have to also get a new console just for the TV I'm probably gonna spend $1,000 on.
Yeah, I think only the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro do 4K.
Yeah,
But
why?
but
First world problems.
I was like, I don't have a 4K TV, so like none of that matters to me. But like when I got my new laptop, what I did was I got like a 2 terabyte Fire CUDA whatever hard drive for my laptop, swapped out the 1 terabyte that it came with, and then swapped the terabyte out with the 500 gig in my PlayStation. So it was like everything, like it was like the trickle down effect of getting a better hard drive and then incoherently getting a better hard drive for the PlayStation. So I was like, how's I know you have a podcast. God damn, why do I keep fucking saying
It's
podcast?
because you want me to have a podcast. You're
I
trying to put
do.
that out into the universe.
I do. I was like, you have a website, the Snapping Reviews, where you review movie, and it was just, wasn't it your anniversary? Like, not that long
Yes.
ago?
In June, I believe, is when I hit the end of June is when I hit 1 year, and it kind of blew my mind. And I also hit my 100th review, which kind of blew my mind too because I didn't realize I've been doing it for this long. And I've been getting like tons of fans actually, and a lot of support. Like I was telling you earlier, I get a lot of foreign support for some reason. Like I'm really big in Italy and Poland. I don't understand that. I don't know if they even can read what I write, but it works out for me.
I was like,
Um, hmm.
I was just gonna say, and I know those listening at home can't see it, but I'm actually repping the Snapping Reviews tank top right now, which is very comfortable and one of my like main 5 tank tops that I wear on a weekly basis around the house and out in public. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I have two of those shirts myself. And then I bought also like a coffee mug and a pillow, and it's just getting a little bit too ridiculous. My girlfriend is not a fan of it. I bought her a T-shirt. I don't think she's ever worn it to this day. She's like, I'm
but
done seeing your face everywhere.
I know that's like I'll wear like my Inside Out Games shirt to work sometimes, and Megan's like, really? Because it has the heart and the intestine on it. She's like, that's fucking disgusting. You're gonna wear that to work? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna wear it to work. Like, I was like, fucking bought this goddamn $20 shirt. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah, you gotta represent. I wear my shirt every time I go and see a movie, just on the off chance that somebody is like, oh hey, maybe I should check that out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, that's a cool shirt, and you're like, thanks, you can buy one, and you can check out my website.
I actually did have that conversation once with someone I work with. I've worn the shirt maybe, I don't know, let's say 20 times, and he sees it for like the 20th time, and he's like, hey, you know that shirt looks like your face, right? Like, was that on purpose? I was like, yeah, it is. I have a website, man. Like, you should check it out. He straight face was like, I probably won't.
Dude, you have to respect that kind of honesty, though. At least he admits, like, he's not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, man, totally, I'll check that out like when I get home or something." He's like, honestly, I was like, it's cool, but I'm probably not gonna look at it.
Yeah, yeah. At least I won't have to have an awkward conversation with him later where I ask, "Hey, did you check it out? Did you like it?" And he'd be like, "Oh no, not yet, but I'll get to it one of these days."
It's open on one of the tabs in my browser. He's like, sort of, kind of. I'm gonna straight buckle down, go in there, and read some reviews.
Yeah, I swear I was going to, but my mom called, and the internet just went out just as I was about to click on it.
Dude, I was like, speaking of shit happening, I was like, before the reason we started the podcast like 10 minutes or so like later than I even planned on was I was planning on eating something before we started, and like I had eggplant parmesan from the night before I was going to heat up, and fucking we went to Starbucks and got like these like green tea lemonades, and I had the food on the counter, and my fucking dog Bunny jumped up on the counter, and there was also like some chicken fajita meat and stuff from the other night before, and he was trying to grab it, and Megan fucking moved the plate to the left so he couldn't get it and knocked her tea over, and the fucking lid popped off, so like an entire like Trente fucking green tea lemonade went everywhere. And then It was all over, and I had the cat food on the counter and shit, so it was all over that and stuff. And then I like picked up the container of the cat food into one of those gravity bowl feeders, and the fucking thing came unhinged, and then like fucking 3 pounds of cat food fucking poured out all over the floor. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. And that was like a week's worth of cat food. So now I need to buy more cat food. And I had to clean all that shit up. And then it's all wet. The cat food's all wet from the green tea lemonade on the floor. And I'm like, God damn it. And it was like this whole debacle. And I didn't even get the fucking food because then I was like, dude, I have to do the podcast. So I ate like half a bite of the fucking eggplant parmesan. And I was like, dude, I was already running late. And I was like, I don't have time for fucking this shit now.
Yeah, I mean, I know the problem with having a dog and also having carpet. It doesn't work out. There's always going to be a mess.
Oh, dude, our fucking apartment, our carpet was destroyed from the fucking dogs because we had 2 dogs at the time at the apartment, and dude, it was awful. Like, I mean, I was straight up like, yeah, we're not getting that deposit back. Like, I was like, that just call it a wash. I don't even care.
Yeah, I think I told you this story. We came home one time and the dog, like this was the day that I knew we were never getting the deposit back. I came home and the dog had shit on the carpet and then eaten the poop and then threw it up somewhere else. Like, and then because he ate it, had like massive diarrhea at a third location. So like the moment we walked into that door, it took us maybe 3 hours to have it not just reek like shit. And even then, it took like 3 days of us constantly airing out the apartment and just pouring basically like perfume and anything that had any like smell directly on the locations. Like I don't even like wearing I don't even like walking around with bare feet anymore, as this carpet is just ruined.
Dude, I was like, I'm gonna tell you about one of the fucking worst days of my life, and it was when I lived at the apartment. We lived on the 3rd floor at this apartment complex, and we had 2 dogs, and we went to, I think it was Portland or Seattle or something on like vacation, and like Megan's mom was watching our dogs over at her house, and we came to pick them up, and she had a fucking mop bucket or something like outside, and they had been drinking out of it, but there's like bleachy like mop water fucking still in there, and I was like, God fucking damn it. Like, I didn't see them drink it, but I was like, I knew. I was like, dude, they probably fucking drank this. Like, I was like, dude, I was like, why would you have that out there? Like, when you have you know you're watching the dogs. Like, why would you leave that out there? And so we took them home, and like everything was fine. The next morning, I wake up, and it's like as soon as I open the bedroom door, it's like you can smell that diarrhea dog shit smell, and I was just like, oh no, like, and I go, and both of their crates were like in like we had like an island in the kitchen, and both of their crates were on either side of the island, and Sarah had diarrhea shit all over in her crate. So she's like covered in it and like splashed it around like everywhere. So it was like all over the side of the island, and like it was pouring out of the crate like onto like the tile, and like part of it was on the carpet and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I had to wake Megan up because I'm like, dude, I need your help. And she will not do anything with like barf or vomit or stuff. But I'm like, I need your help because I'm like, I need to get Sarah, and because I knew they needed to go to the bathroom too because it's like first thing in the morning, and I'm like, dude, they need to go down. I'm like, I can't take them down to piss like this. I'm like, I need to clean their crate. I'm like, Sarah needs a bath. I'm like, Bunny needs to go downstairs, but I can't do everything all at once. So it was like, I had to physically pick Sarah up while she was covered in shit, carry her into the bathroom in the hall, and like throw her in the tub to start the tub. And I'm like, hold her here because I need to take her fucking crate out onto the patio to just get it so it doesn't smell like shit anymore, like in here. And then, so I took her crate out there, and fucking, as I'm trying to like get Bunny to like get him like harnessed up or whatever to go downstairs, he fucking rocket shits like out the fucking crate all over the carpet, and I'm like, oh my fucking God. And I was just like, dude. And then so now I had his crate was all fucking covered in shit, and I'm like, Oh my god. So and then like he like stepped in it and stuff and like needed a bath and I'm like, "Oh my god." So then it's like gave Sarah a bath and then fucking I had to clean her crate and because we live on the third floor, I don't have a hose, I don't have anything. So I could only clean it with like paper towels and I had like a pitcher that I was filling with like soapy hot water to just like dump it out. And I was just like, "Oh my fucking god." And then we got it all cleaned up. We ran out of paper towels. I had to run across the street to Albertsons to get more paper towels. When I came back, I had moved Bunny's crate over by like our bookshelf where there's like the video games and stuff because I had to clean the spot where the crate was because there was shit everywhere around it. He then rocket shits again all over that bookcase and it was all over like video games and like CDs and shit and I was just like I was done. It was like 8 in the morning that all this was happening and I was like I've already cleaned the crate and like Sarah shit again and it was all over the carpet and I was just like after like 2 hours of like dealing with this they finally like were like asleep and like shit it out and I was just like I just want to go back to bed and just wake up and start like the next day because I was like this is awful.
Oh man, that's yeah, that's life.
Yeah, that's the culmination of owning dogs.
Yeah, pretty well much. They're really cute and they love you, but they're monsters.
Ooh, and I heard you saw it chapter two.
Yeah, I just went last night actually and saw it. I was in the middle of writing a review for it when you hit me up for the podcast.
I was like, so I haven't. I'm gonna see it probably next week. So without spoiling it though, what'd you think? I
Um,
hear it's long as fuck. Like I hear it's like
it
2 and like a half hours or some
it
shit. Like
is it is, and there was a in the middle. I think it dragged a little bit. Without spoiling anything, I just want to say that I thought it would be way more about the adults, and it was, but half of the movie was flashbacks to them as kids still. So, yeah, I was not expecting that, and I think that maybe they could have done away with that. Like, I already saw the kids for like 2 hours. I just watched that movie. We don't need to see more stuff with the clown and the kids. Like, let's move on to the really fucked up adult stuff. But besides that, it was pretty good. I liked it. The end is insane. Like,
awesome.
I loved it. Like, I would just wish I could go back into the theater and watch the last half hour of that movie.
I was like, so like, were there a lot of changes between like, would you say between the original and
Oh yeah.
between two?
Oh yeah. I think there even was a little bit of an inside joke talking about so one of the characters is a writer, so I think they were using that to make fun of Stephen King. And like they made fun of like how all of his endings are terrible. Like to all of his books and they're like he's introduced working on a movie and they're saying that the end of the movie is shit. And I remember the only thing I really remember from the original is that the end of that movie sucks. So yeah, I think that that was on purpose. They flipped it around. It's really different than the movie. I would say the one with Tim Curry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's way more like the book. I would say. I mean, without the turtle orgy and stuff.
That's cool though, because like I remember, because I'm gonna rewatch the first movie again before I go see the second one. I remember there was like a lot of scenes in the first movie that like were from like the original movie and stuff. It was just like done. Of course, it looked like a lot better and stuff because like visual effects and stuff have improved since 1990.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works. You know.
I was like, I actually went and saw it was the Matrix 20th anniversary and stuff. So I went and saw the first Matrix at they were playing at one like it was at AMC, but it was in like the Dolby HD whatever theater
Yeah.
and stuff. So there's like the scene with the helicopter and like a fucking minigun, and your entire seat's like vibrating. It's like I was like, dude, this is so badass.
Yeah, I have not gone to any of that, but I have a friend that goes to multiple. They call them like the 4D movies or whatever,
Oh, uh-huh.
and he talks them up so much. Like they're expensive, but they're completely worth it. He was saying like he went and saw Pet Cemetery, and the scene where like the dude's Achilles tendon gets sliced. Like
Oh
the
God.
seat actually like slices, like runs like a cloth across your ankle when
Oh.
that happens. Like, or he went and also saw Jurassic World, and he said like, when someone's getting eaten, they like spray a little bit of water on your face so it feels like the blood is falling on you. It sounds like an experience.
Yeah, I was like, I saw when we went to Disneyland or something, they had like, it was like Honey, I Shrunk the Audience or something like that at California Adventures. And like they had something like that where it was like there was one part where they like released a bunch of rats or something, so they had like a bunch of little tubes with like air blasting out of them, so it's like a bunch of like little tails hitting the back of your ankles and stuff like that. And then like yeah, they did like the mist thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds cool, but damn, these movies are so expensive lately. Like it's if you want to go to the movies, it's at least $40.
Dude, that's why. Yeah, that's why I like just like bit the bucket and did the AMC like A list and shit. So where you can see like it's like $20 a month or whatever to see like 3 movies a week. Because I was like, even though I'm only going like once a week, that's still like 4 movies, and it's like before I was like going through like Fandango and stuff, and it was like $12 after tax and shit for like a movie, and I was like, dude, if I just do this, I'm like, if I literally see even just 2 movies a month, I'm like saving maybe like $2 or something. But then I'm like, if I see 3, it's like instant savings. So I'm like, and there's so many like horror movies and like good movies and stuff like coming out that it's like I want to see that I'm like, dude, I might as well just fucking pay the $20 a month and do it.
Yeah, I was considering it. There's not really an AMC by me, but Real also is doing. Like I think every movie theater is gonna do it. Like Movie Pass fucked up so hard that now every movie theater is like, well, I'm gonna do that, but just for me. Like so, like Movie Pass. I actually wrote something on Movie Pass how insane that was and how much money they lost because the story is kind of tragic. Like they really fucked over stockholders and they fucked over the people who had Movie Pass.
Yeah, like
But
what even happened to it? Because I know it got to the point where even like AMC and stuff like was trying to like not even accept Movie Pass. They were like, no, it's like, and the ones that you could use Movie Pass on is like certain ones they wouldn't let you even use Movie Pass, so they were like being all weird about it.
yeah, they were so basically what happened was they gave you so Movie Pass would give you a credit card and you would pay for the movie, but it would just be Movie Pass, like the company would pay for the ticket themselves. But the moment you go and see, 2 movies, 3 movies, like you're saying to save money, uh, Movie Pass is already in the red. Like they're losing money, and I think that they banked on people having that gym membership mentality where they pay 10 a month and then they never show up. You know.
Yeah.
But the problem was everyone was going and seeing 3, 4 movies a month. So they ended up losing, what was it, like $50 million a month? Like that's how much they were losing. And then they went and got so then they tried to have deals with AMC. And it was like, AMC, how about you give us a discount on your movies, and then that way we'll make money again, and you'll get more people in your theater for concessions. And AMC was like, I don't know about that, man. And then they agreed to it, and then Movie Pass still wasn't making any money. So they're like, how about you also give us some money for your concessions too? And AMC basically told them that they'll fuck themselves. And that's why AMC was the first one to do that. They were like, wait a minute, why don't we just do it and we lose literally no money because the moment one person pays a ticket to see that movie, they're playing the movie, you know. So as long as one person pays, everyone else there could be the AMC Movie Pass people, and they still made a profit because they're not losing any money as the tickets are fictional, whereas Movie Pass was physically paying for each one of those tickets.
Yeah, dude. I was like, and plus it was only like, wasn't Movie Pass like $6 a month or something fucking stupid like
Yeah, it
that?
was
Like it was,
so cheap. It was
yeah.
so cheap.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how you would make money off that. Like,
Well, it's the same with that Disney Plus that's coming out. It's like $7 a month. I don't understand how they're gonna make money off of that, but I don't know. I'm
I
gonna get it.
Well, dude, me too. I'm actually gonna do because we already paid for Hulu, and it's like we're paying like I don't know, like I think the price actually lower. It was like I think like $10 or $11, but then I think for just like the normal Hulu whatever, it dropped to like $8.99 or whatever. But I know they're doing the bundle deal where it's like Disney Plus, Hulu, and like ESPN or something like that for like it's like $12 a month or something like that. And I was like, well, I already pay 8, so then it's like might as well pay the extra 4 to get Disney Plus because I was like, I fucking want it.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing too. And the thing is ESPN, like I don't know if you like sports or anything. I know it's very taboo in the nerd market now. But like that's what's gonna win them over is because the only reason there's even live television anymore is because of sports because you can't like easily just binge watch sports. It doesn't work that way. It's not like you're watching Friends. So yeah, I think they're gonna fucking kill it. Like I might get that too.
Yeah, I was like, which I don't really like watch sports or anything, but it's like I know for like Super Bowl and stuff, like I did like a free trial thing for like CBS Direct or something just so I could like stream the Super Bowl or whatever because we had people over and stuff to watch it. But um but yeah, I mean even Disney stuff aside, I think it's cool that even like National Geographic is like a part of it because they do cool shows like Taboo and like other shit and stuff that I like watching that stuff, so and documentaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, actually, that was the biggest thing. So they had that D23 recently, like the Disney Expo,
Mm.
and they went so hard on announcements for Marvel and Star Wars. But the one that blew my mind was that Jeff Goldblum is gonna have a National Geographic like documentary about him like traveling the world, and it'll be only on that Disney Plus. I was like, fuck, man, I gotta go watch that. Jeff Goldblum trying Indian food. Jeff Goldblum talking to a cheetah. Like, I'm down. You take my money.
Dude, that's like I think there was I can't remember what the hell it was called. I think it's on Netflix, but it's like a documentary series and it's like about religion and like God and stuff and different religions, but it's narrated by fucking Morgan Freeman. And like I was like, dude, I was like he could be talking about Nazi Germany. I was like and I still watch like I'm like I don't necessarily give a shit about religion, but it's like interesting. I'm like he could talk about anything and I'll fucking listen. Like so
Yeah.
it made it cool.
Now he knows what he's doing. That dude is old as sin. Also, I just watched Angel Has Fallen, and I don't know what happened, but that dude looks like he's 1 foot in the grave. Morton Freeman right now,
Oh
like,
man.
damn, yeah. I used to remember him being like, he's like the older dad character. He's like that hole on hole, you know? He's the grandpa you would listen to. And now he looks like the grandpa that you pick up from the bar at 2 in the afternoon because he's already out.
I know that's like Morgan Freeman's gonna be like another one of those ones where it's like Robin Williams or Stan Lee. Like when they pass away, you're just gonna be like, like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
That Stan Lee one got me hard, I'm not gonna lie. As what was funny too, well not funny, I guess.
You're like,
Probably
he's
the
dead.
wrong part of this. But we had just gone, so there's a museum out here in Seattle called the MOPOP. It's like most popular whatever. And it has tons of cool exhibits. Like it's all just pop stuff. So it has like a whole exhibit about like horror movies
Mm.
and it's like
Yeah, I've been to
stuff.
that.
Oh, all right, yeah, yeah. They had one that was all Marvel, and it was all like a lot of stuff from the movies, which was cool, like seeing an Iron Man costume or seeing like Thor's hammer, like the props. But what was really cool was like, original drawings of like Steve Ditko's Spider-Man and like original stuff from Stan Lee, and it was really really awesome. And then like a week later, Stan Lee died. It was so sad. Because I was telling everyone, like, oh, you gotta go check it out. It has Stan Lee stuff. And then they're like, hey, man, you should probably stop saying that out loud.
Dude, that's like, but yeah, when we went, cause yeah, they have the horror, like there was the different like sections. There was like the horror movie section, which was really dope, and then they had like the fantasy movie section with shit from like The Princess Bride,
Oh,
Lord
yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
Rings, and stuff, and then I forget like there was like another section, but like they always have that one that's like a rotating special section, and when we went, it was Star Wars.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I would
they
have
had
liked
like
that.
a lot of the costumes and stuff from like the original trilogy, and like they had like Han's gun and like a bunch of different stuff, and it was like this huge. They had like stormtrooper outfits and like little exhibits and stuff like that, so it was really cool.
Damn, that would have been cool. The only other one that I wanted to go see was the Jim Henson Muppet one. They had like one of the rotating ones was all Jim Henson. It had like Muppets, stuff from the Dark Crystal, stuff from Labyrinth, and all that. It was. I would have liked to have seen it.
Dude, that's like we when we used to go to like Vegas and stuff with my family at the what was it, the Hilton or something, they Harris, but one of the
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, one of at one of the H hotels, they had a the Star Trek like museum and stuff where they had like a lot of the outfits and stuff from like the original series and Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, and like it had like weapons and like different stuff like that, and they had like a little interactive like ride that you could go on, and
Oh,
then
damn.
yeah, dude, it was like a whole thing, and then they built a bar too, like a restaurant bar. It was Quark's Bar, so that after the ride, that's where it like dropped you off. Was there was like the gift shop and then Quark's Bar and stuff, and you could get drinks and food and shit. It was
Oh,
like super
that
dope.
that kind of sounds like what they're doing in Disneyland with Star Wars. That Galaxy's Edge. I
Yeah,
haven't gone yet, but I definitely want to. It sounds awesome.
dude, so do I. I hear it's like certain aspects of it are like expensive as fuck though, but I mean it's Disneyland, so I guess
Yeah.
that's kind of like to
If you're
build a
not
lightsaber, it's like fucking like $300 or something like that.
if you're not planning on dropping like $3,000, why are you even going?
Dude, that's like I still haven't even gone to. I still want to go to fucking like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and stuff, and I still
Oh
haven't got to go
yeah,
do that yet.
yeah. I really want to do that. Fuck man, there's just so much stuff I want to do, but instead I'm like going to a bar or something like boring like that, you know. Well, actually, I am. For Christmas, we're going to Paris, and there's a Paris Disneyland out there we're gonna hit, and apparently it's super legit. Like the hassle for Disneyland is a real hassle. Like they just built Disneyland around an already existing hassle. So that's gonna be super cool. I'm excited for that.
Dude, that's dope. I was like, I know next year we really want to go to Japan, and like one of my friends got a job out there beginning of this year and stuff like in February, and he's like, dude, when are you gonna come visit me? And I was like, dude, I've wanted to come to Japan for like now it's like I have like even more of an excuse. I'm like, well, we can go visit him and go. You can like show us around and go to like some of the different cities and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I've never been to Japan. I've actually never been outside the country aside from Haneda, which I just did when I was here recently. Uh, which was actually way more intense than I thought it was gonna be. Like Haneda itself was normal, whatever, right? You know, it's basically I'm in Seattle. Vancouver is just Seattle, but they use different money. But the border process of getting into Canada was super easy. It was like, oh hey, what are you doing here? And we're like, we're gonna eat some French fried chips and maple syrup. It's like, have fun. And then on the way back was like this super intense questioning, like to get into America from Canada was like, what were you doing? Where were you? What food did you eat? What hotel did you stay at? Like, and people like walking around the car. There was like 18 million cameras all around us and stuff. I was like, fuck, do I even want to go back? What the hell's going on? It was also like 2 in the morning, and we're like, he was like, well, what are you bringing back with you? We had like chocolate bars and stuff. And he's like, what type of chocolate bars? Some of those are illegal. And I was like, well, fuck, if I'm gonna do an international crime, I'm gonna do it with a twist.
Yeah, you like sit there, start eating one right there. You're like, fuck
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. That was pretty intense, but it was fun being in another country using different money, like. But that was like the half step. It's Canada. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's still like basically North America in
Yeah,
that sense.
yeah. Yeah, but going to France, I've been trying to learn French and stuff, as I don't want to be punks out there.
I was like, I would assume like still like because I feel like pretty much in like a lot, not every country, of course, but like a lot of other countries, like English is like either like the second or like third language, like
Yeah, and
there. So
also I would assume, I mean, I don't know personally, but I would assume that like cities that are really high in tourists are kind of used to it too, you know?
yeah,
But I still don't want to be that asshole. Like, I at least learned to ask where the toilets are and where to say, I don't know what you're saying. And like after, as long as I can get those down, I think I'll be safe.
yeah, that's like for like Japan and stuff. It's like because I took Japanese in high school, and it's like even though I could still read some stuff, like speaking is like I know still remember like some of the basics like how are you and like how to like say your name and stuff like that and like bathroom, but it's like when it comes to like kanji and stuff that's like that's like a third language that I'm just like I can't read that. Like I'm like I don't know what that says. But yeah, the only other time I've been out of the country was when the two times we went to Ireland.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, that like, well, I was technically I guess we went to England too, but we got stranded in England and that wasn't a fun experience.
So you're basically like prisoners of England. Probably
Yeah,
not a vacation scenario.
dude. So, all right. So, first time we went to Ireland, the very first trip, cuz Megan's terrified of flying, even though she like wants to travel the world and do whatever, she fucking hates flying. And I'm like, that's like two things that don't really mix well together, but okay. I'm like, and you want to go to Japan and that's like a 13-hour fucking plane ride. But we went when we went to Ireland, she took like a fucking lorazepam and was out the entire like 10-hour flight to fucking Ireland, and she was like sleeping on me and shit, which made it hard for me, so I didn't sleep like the entire flight even though it was like an overnight like flight. And she fucking as we were like getting ready to like land, like she like woke up and was like, dude, I don't feel good. She was like she felt like she's like, dude, I'm gonna puke. And I was like, haha, like, yeah, right, like whatever. And then she starts gagging and I'm like, oh shit. And so then she fucking I gave her my uh like the bag because they gave us little cheap ass blankets that came in plastic bags, and I gave her that and she starts puking into the plastic bag, and I'm like, oh no. And then she took my blanket and was like barfed into the blanket, like
Oh my god. Oh.
folded it in half, barfed in it, folded it in half, barfed in it, and I'm like sitting there like like dude, this sucks. And she was like pale as a fucking ghost. And then we finally land, and then she has this fucking wadded up barf blanket that she like stuffed back into the plastic wrap thing. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to leave this for someone. So I took it, and I was like, oh, well, like as soon as we get off the plane, there will be like a garbage can or something for me to throw this away. Yeah, like we had to walk from the plane, and like it was like literally like a fucking like 2 mile walk from like where the plane was to like the actual like airport like terminal thing, and there was no garbage cans along the way. So I'm like, God damn. So I had to carry this fucking thing the entire way, and Megan was like slow as shit because she didn't feel good. And I'm just like, I'm trying to hurry, and I'm just like, I'm wait for her, and I'm like, God damn it. And then her family was there to pick us up, and then we're like on the freeway driving, and she's like, dude, I feel like I'm gonna puke again, and we can't pull, there's nowhere to pull over. And so she fucking dumps her purse out and starts puking in her purse. And I was like, God damn it. Like,
Oh my god.
so I had to get her a new purse while we were there. And then like the entire time we were there, like she was sick for like the first like couple days. And then like that's right. And then on the way to the house, because it was like 2 hours away, the car broke down and it started to rain. And so
Jesus.
yeah, and so we're there, and then it took them the entire week we were there for them to fix their car. So we didn't have a vehicle. So we didn't get to go do a lot of the shit that we wanted to do because we didn't have transportation until like the last couple days we were there. And so I was like, God damn it. And then so I was like, well, like, we'll come back next year and it'll be better. So then
Yeah.
yeah, so then the next year we fucking went, Megan didn't get sick on the flight this time because she didn't take fucking lorazepam, but it was like a huge fucking snowstorm, like the biggest snowstorm Ireland's had in like 100 years or some shit, and like people were like snowed in their houses, like roads were shut down, like all of Ireland was just like stopped, and that happened like a couple weeks before we were supposed to go, and then but it was still kind of ongoing too. So we had a flight from uh, here to England, and then we had a flight from England to Dublin. And what ended up happening was we got to England, and it was like piss pouring rain, and there was also snow in some parts and shit. And our connecting flight got canceled, and because they couldn't fly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's one of those things that we didn't know until we landed, because then it's like all of a sudden we had phone service, and then got like a million emails that was like, oh hey, by the way, your connecting flight's canceled, and like everyone on the plane was getting those same notifications, and so it's like fuck. So then like we were trying to like figure out what to do, and then of course like everyone's waiting to get vouchers and shit and figure out when they had no idea when like what time the next flight was gonna be for like the next day, and like it was this whole thing, and then like we had to get vouchers for the hotel, and then we had to take this like fucking bus. They lost our luggage, so we got Megan's, but then mine was lost. So
Jesus.
we were in the airport for like 5 hours because they had like all the luggage was loaded up to go on the next plane, but then they weren't flying out, so then they had to take all the luggage back out of the plane, and like it got stashed somewhere else, and yeah, so it was like a fucking nightmare. And then we got to the hotel, and they said that the voucher like wasn't for that hotel, and like it was supposed to be, but like the guy on the fucking bus thing to the hotel took our hotel voucher instead of our bus voucher. So I had the voucher still for the bus, but not for the fucking hotel. And I tried to tell them like what was happening. I'm like, okay, then I don't care. I was like, I'll pay for a fucking room, and they're like, yeah, well, we're booked or whatever.
But you're
And like,
like, one of those rooms is for
yeah,
me. I
yeah.
know it's
And
open.
Megan's like crying in the lobby at this point because we're just cold because it was piss pouring rain, and I was like wearing shorts and shit because I wasn't dressed at all for like fucking being there. And I was like, they're like saying, oh well, we can order you like a cab or something to go back to the airport, and I'm like, dude, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going back to that fucking airport. I'm like, so I'm like, I'm not leaving until I get a fucking room. And like Megan's like crying her like eyes out, and then they were like, okay, looks like we have like a room or something. I was like, yeah, I know
It
you
turns
fucking
out,
did.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, because they were literally turning people away and stuff, and there were people in front of us that did take like a fucking thing back to the airport, and I'm like, I'm not going back there. I'm like, this airport is like fucking massive, and I was like, we were there all goddamn day. I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with that. So yeah, we were there at this fucking hotel, and like fucking people, I was like, yeah, we're stranded here until whatever, and people were like, oh no, stranded in England, like why don't you go walk around and do it. And I'm like, you don't understand that, one, nothing is near us, there's no food, like the only place we could eat was like the hotel, because I was like, we don't have transportation, it's piss pouring rain outside, like literally anything to go see around there is like 90 minutes away, and that's by car. I'm like, not by like anything else. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like, I'm fucking sore from walking around the airport, like shit sucks. And then when we got to Ireland finally, like her family had taken like 2 weeks off or whatever to like hang out with us and stuff, but because they were snowed in, they had to go back to work. So then we were just hanging out in their house, like by ourselves basically, until they got home from work and shit. And we didn't get to do anything really until like the weekend. So it's like every time we've tried to go to Ireland, it's just been a fucking nightmare.
Yes, you're really selling me on international travel right now.
Exactly. But it was like weird. Like they don't have ranch over there, which was like we're like Mexican food does not exist. They don't have ranch. Like it was funny going grocery shopping because like they have a little kind of like how here we have like a little international section.
Yeah.
Like they have American stuff in the international section. It's like a box of Twinkies was like $12. Like there and stuff, like it was like insanely expensive. It had some like other like American food and stuff that was just like outrageously priced. And like fruit like a pack of like 6 strawberries was like $3.
That doesn't even make sense.
because like
Like,
it's so cold there that like fruit and stuff just doesn't really grow like a lot, so it's like fruit's really hard to come by, and like so it's expensive, whereas like potatoes and like vegetables and shit like are hella cheap because it's like that's like what they can grow.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know about the whole Ireland potato famine. Like, they even made potatoes one year, and a bunch of people died because of it.
Yeah, so it's like every like we went to McDonald's and it was like the best McDonald's I've ever eaten at. It was like so clean, and like they had like wraps and shit, and it's like the chicken was so good, and like I like was like, yeah, and they're like any sauce or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, can I get ranch? And I forgot that they don't have ranch, and then they're like, yeah, we don't have that, and I was like, honey mustard, and they're like, what the fuck's that? Like they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, okay, what sauce do you have? And it was like barbecue sauce, sweet chili, and then like two others, and I was like, I'll just take sweet chili, which was
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
but I was just like so funny because I'm just like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you, and like no one has tattoos or piercings or anything like that there, like except
So you
there's
probably
like
just looked like a freak.
yeah, well, I was like so bundled up most of the time that you didn't even see my shit. Like I looked like a total tour. Like people are walking around in like short sleeve shirts and shit, and I'm wearing like three jackets and stuff. But like inside, like where it was warm, I'd take my shit off, and people were kind of like, "Oh," like as I have like almost like an entire sleeve on my arm. Because like most of the people that have tattoos, it's like names or like I guess maybe like tribal like shit like that. Like they don't have like
Yeah.
cool designs or anything like that. Like
Yeah, I've been itching for a new tattoo actually. I'm setting up an appointment now. I finally found a Batman that I want to get tattooed on me. It's from the Last Night on Earth. It's a new story with Scott Snyder, and it's so fucking insane. Like it starts off with Batman like in a mental hospital, and he like the standard nothing's real. Like the Joker is one of your therapists. Like all the other criminals or other patients and stuff, and he makes a bat suit out of like a stray jacket and like a yard's nightstick and all this stuff, like broken glass for his I don't know, whatever, love spice, and he just beats the shit out of everyone, and then you find out the whole insane asylum is actually like an illusion, like the Matrix, and it's hundreds of years in the future, and Bruce Wayne, the Batman we're reading about, is a clone of Bruce Wayne who died, and it's just so fucking weird. And I was like, this is the perfect Batman story. I need this Batman in an insane asylum tattooed on my body.
dude, that sounds dope. It's been forever since I like read comics. Like it's one of those where it's like I was like up to date for like a while on certain things, and then it's like I fell off and I just never got back on.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has to have their vice. I still spend way too much money on comic books. I just went the other day and spent, I think, $130 on comics that I read that evening. And I just boarded them up, put them in a box. I'm done with them.
Yeah, dude,
So,
that's part of the problem is like you drop all that money on it, and then it's like yeah, you knock all that shit out like so quick, and then it's like, well, now put them on the bookshelf.
yeah,
Like let people
exactly.
borrow them or something.
Well, the one good thing is, so Stephanie, my girlfriend, she likes those Marvel movies. So I was like, if you like the movie Civil War, you should read Marvel's Civil War. And she reads it and she's like, this is so fucking different. This is so insane. Like she has all these questions about stuff that's going on. So now I finally have a reason in my mind to keep buying comics, as now she can read them also. It's a double investment.
Yeah, that's like we watched like the Batman Hush
Oh
animated
yeah, yeah, yeah,
movie,
yeah.
and Megan's like, that's pretty good. I was like, dude, if you think that's good, I was like, we have the comic on the shelf, and I was like, Superman barely had a role in this, whereas like he has a way bigger role in the comic, and so does like Poison Ivy, and there's like some shit that happens that wasn't even in the fucking like.
Yeah, like all the Jason Todd shit that happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there was like characters that like weren't even, and fuck, what's the, yeah, there was like other, I can't remember her fucking name off the top of my head.
Huntress?
Yes, there we go. Huntress. Yeah,
Yeah.
Huntress's like entire role was like out of the movie and stuff, and
Yeah, I think they replaced her with Batgirl, but it's the Burnside Batgirl, like the hipster Batgirl, so I think they're probably gonna make that movie down the line or something. It's like the only reason I have that DC membership is for the animated movies that they come out with, as it's a huge waste of money. There's like nothing to watch on there.
Yeah, I heard like Doom Patrol was like good,
Oh yeah,
but
Doom Patrol was the shit. Like honestly, I loved it. I ended up like rewatching that whole series as it was really cool. But like I don't know, season 3 of Young Justice, it's not getting me. I'm not really digging it. Swamp Thing, it's really good, but it's so hard to watch.
I
Like I think
also
I'm
heard
on.
it got canceled. Like
Yeah,
3 episodes in, they were like, we don't have the
not
budget for
even.
this
It was
shit.
like
Like,
one episode came out and then they canceled it the next day. Uh, so they have like 10 episodes, but that's it. So I don't know if it'll be. Yeah, from what I heard was apparently they had only recorded like 6 episodes and they blew the budget of like 3 seasons already. So
Jesus.
I mean, you can tell though when you watch it, you can tell. But it's a horror TV show. Like it's not a comic book TV show. It's scary as fuck, and people are like ripped to pieces, and it's really like gross. So I like it, but
Yeah, I was
like
like, you're speaking my language right now.
yeah, yeah, but I mean like a monthly membership for 2 TV
For that,
shows,
yeah.
like yeah, it's hard. And Titans was I don't know, Titans was weird.
Oh man. But yeah, I was like, comic book wise too. There was a. I've heard nothing, and I really want to read it. And I was just like, man, like I almost bought it, but like the like from Boom Comics, the new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers
Oh, I heard it's really
series.
good too. I heard it's really. I haven't read it yet either.
Yeah, there's the Shatter the Grid or whatever storyline, I guess, that just ended or whatever, where like Tommy's like bat. It's like an alternate reality where like the Green Ranger never left Rita's side, and
Yeah,
like yeah, he like takes out all the Power Rangers and collects their coins and becomes like Lord Draken, and then he sits there and like is trying to kill all the Rangers across like different like universes.
yeah, that's what I really want to do is because I mean I know I dipped out maybe like the third or fourth one. I think when they started doing like cars for their Zords or whatever is when I dipped out. But I really like the idea of them bringing all the different Power Rangers together.
Dude, and I was like flipping through like the book because we went to like Barnes and Noble the other day, and I was like flipping through it, and in the back they had the different covers from different issues, and I was like, so many of these, I was like, dude, I would buy a fucking like 11 by 17 print of this shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one of the
Well, I know Alex Ross did a bunch of those covers.
one of the pictures was like Tommy in like his new suit, whatever that he has as like Lord Giant. It's like him sitting on a throne, and on the floor is like all the different Power Ranger helmets from like different universes, and the main original Red Rangers is like under his foot, and it's all fucking cracked and like shit. I was like,
Oh
dude, I was like,
man,
that's so badass. And there was like one of him like holding each of the Power Ranger helmets. It's like all crushed and like destroyed, and it had like the
that's
Power
awesome.
Rangers logo, and it was all cracked and like fractured and shit. And I was like, dude, I was like, I'm all about that.
Yeah, I'll try to get into that. Well, it's like the thing is also a buddy of mine has Marvel Unlimited, which is
Mm.
basically every single Marvel comic of all time, just at your fingertips. So I just like have my iPad, and when I feel like it, I'll just read something. I just read Thanos Wins by Donny Hates, and it's so good because Thanos is an insane person. He's just like not like the movie where it's like, oh, you can kind of relate with him. No, he's just a mass murdering psychopath in it. And the but in it is the cosmic Ghost Rider, which you find out halfway through. So it's a guy who died, became Ghost Rider, and then like met up with Galactus and got the Silver Surfer powers while also being a Ghost Rider. And then halfway through, you find out it's Frank Castle. So he's the Punisher also. And it's just like he's just insane. Like he's someone who's like been alive for millions of years now. And so imagine Frank Castle just like literally seeing the gates of hell, like like traveling the entire cosmos, being alive for millions of years, still being the Punisher is probably one of the coolest fucking things I've read in comics lately.
Dude, like one of my favorite fucking Punisher arcs was it was back in like it was just like called Punisher or like whatever, but it was from like 2000, like like 9 or 10 or something like that. But like the whole storyline premise was like it had the Hood, who's like one of my favorite like D-list Marvel villains, where he's like the gangster with the guns or whatever, but he has the Red Hood possessed by Dramaratsu or one of the demons, and he can
Alright.
like phase through walls and shit, and like he could go all ape shit and gets like demonic powers and stuff. But he was collecting. It wasn't the Infinity Stones. It was some other sort of like something like that though, where it was like power, like there's multiple of them, and he collected them, and he like was using the Punisher or whatever because he has like a bunch of other street level like villains and stuff like that like doing shit for him, and he collected all the shit and like dug up the Punisher's family and like brought them back to life using the power of the things, and like his family came back. And the Punisher, because the Punisher did his role, he killed someone that he wanted dead. He's like, all right, here's your reward, and he like brought back his family for him, and the Punisher fucking freaks out and like takes a flamethrower and burns them alive, and the Hood starts losing it, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, dude, that's your family, and it like goes all close on Punisher's face, and his face is all crazy. He's like, my family died, whatever. So he like killed his own family again because he
Jesus
like refused
Christ,
to like
yeah.
bring them back, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah, Punisher's an awesome character. I don't know what they're gonna do now that the Netflix TV shows are canceled. I'm assuming they're gonna bring him back in a movie or maybe a Disney Plus show or something.
Well,
But
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like I know they canceled them on Netflix, but I literally wouldn't be surprised if Disney like was just like, we're doing all the same shit. We're like bringing the same team, whatever. You're being paid through Disney, and we're doing it here now,
I
and they just
wish
haven't announced it
I
or
would
no.
love it if they did because like Luke Cage season 2 was phenomenal. I even liked Iron Fist season 2. Like both of those shows ended on such huge cliffhangers that I was like, just do a goddamn Heroes for Hire show. Finish out those two stories. Yeah, I don't know. But they sold a bunch of the shit, actually. So they just had a live auction for all the Netflix TV shows.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I ended up spending $85 to buy a picture of one of the side characters for Iron Fist that's on screen for like 3 seconds, just as, I don't know, I thought it was hilarious to do that. My girlfriend was not happy.
You're like, she's like, who the fuck's that? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I was and they're doing one right now for John Wick, and I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to
saw the
bid.
John Wick
Yeah,
one.
I'm trying to bid on the letter his dead wife gives him, like at the beginning of the first movie. There's no way I'm gonna spend way too much money on this. I have a problem.
Oh man, that's like I was telling, because the other day we had like dinner with Matt or whatever, and because I was telling Megan about like one of the last Marvel storyline things that I read was where it was there was like the team or whatever. It was like Mr. Fantastic. It was Professor X, but he ended up dying, and then Beast took his place.
Oh, the
And then
Illuminati.
yeah, and then Doctor Strange, and then Iron Man and Namor and stuff, and they were all on the one Earth, and it's like the different multiverse Earths or whatever were like dying, and they were trying to figure out how to stop it, and they were communicating with other versions of themselves in that team, like across all the different like multiverses, trying to like work together to figure out how to stop their universes from dying. And
Yeah,
then
dude,
the
that one was amazing. That
yeah,
Avengers run is so good.
yeah, and then they like the one or they like built the laser thing, and they're trying to like blow up like other universes and stuff to like buy them time for their universe not to blow up. And then Doctor Strange sells his soul to like go all fucking ape shit. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I remember that one ends with yeah, Doom. Like Doctor Doom becomes basically like
God.
ultra powerful. Yeah, yeah, and like holds together sections of other universes together for Battle World. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, dude, I love that. And then when you were talking about Thanos, it reminded me of it was like a 6 issue series where it was like Thanos. I can't remember. Maybe it was Thanos Rising or Thanos Origins or something like that, where it was like a mini series where it was like about him, and like it was like when he was a kid, on his planet and stuff, and like he ends up falling in love with death, and like fucking destroys everything and goes like ape
Yeah.
shit.
He kills his own mom, I think, in that one. Like, yeah. Yeah, he's a psychopath. But, he did nothing wrong in the snap thing,
Oh
Thanos
yeah,
was right. Yeah.
yeah, the thing
Uh,
that you based your entire website off of.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was trying to come up with names for the site as the reason I even started was as I was talking to so many people about my opinions of movies, and I didn't agree with anyone. Like, I would have conversations with people, and I was like, no, this is really good because of X, Y, and Z. And they would just have dumb opinions. So I was like, well, fuck talking to these people. I'm going to just start doing my own movie reviews. And I was trying to come up with a name, and I think it was like right after that movie came out. So I made it the Snap Name Reviews. And then after I had already like bought a web name and like started doing logos and stuff, I found out that the snapping is a term for like a porn site apparently. Like people who hack Snapchat accounts.
Yeah, I remember bringing it up to you. I think shortly after you had everything set up, I was like, you realize that like the snapping was like that event that happened where people's like Snapchat shit got hacked, and there's like a bunch of Snapchat photos like on the internet, like the happening.
Yeah, so when people, if anyone listening tries to Google my site, just remember to put the reviews section at the end, or else you're gonna get some not safe for work Google searches.
To be fair though, I think most of the pictures are just like 13-year-old girl feet pictures and stuff. So I don't think that's kind of a gray area of the law. So
Yeah.
so
Probably still not what you want up on your screen at certain times, though.
yeah, you probably don't want that in your search history for when like the IRS is
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
come knocking on your door, FBI. They're gonna be like,
Yeah, the IRS, the people who do your taxes. You don't want them
yeah,
to know.
yeah. You don't want them to know. They're like, dude. They're like, this guy who pays his taxes is a fucking pedo, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like IRS, the IMBD, the
Yeah, yeah,
USAA.
The YMCA.
Yeah,
They probably would appreciate it.
that's probably where most of the pictures were taken. Over at the YMCA.
Yeah. But yeah, one more thing that I thought was cool was after the so right before I saw it, when you go and see it, they have a trailer for Birds of Prey. The first trailer, it's only gonna be in front of it when you go and see it.
When you go and see it.
Yeah, I know. I realized that as I was saying it, but that was their fault naming that movie. All right.
That's true. I mean, maybe if Stephen King wasn't like on so much like meth and shit when he like wrote it,
Yeah.
could have come
So
up with a better name.
so hooked up on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had that like dude, that was all my I was like that reminds me real quick of I can't remember. Did you ever have fucking his name was Kilgore or whatever as a teacher at Collins?
Oh, yeah, he have like some insane, he was like super fucking drugged out, like in the 80s or something, so his
Yeah.
mind wasn't all there.
Like every day because I don't remember what class I had him for. It was like something. It had something to do with game design, kind of, but like we didn't really do a whole lot in that class. But every day when the class would start, he'd be like, "Does anybody have any quips, quotes, queries?" And
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and then he talked about how like I don't know. I don't. He was like, "Well, I didn't do this, but," and he would talk about how people would like shit in like mason jars and like leave them on the windowsill to like ferment for like 3 days in the sun, and then like when you inhale it, you like fucking hallucinate balls like for like an hour.
I remember one day we were working on something and he just stood up for no reason and started reciting that Jefferson Airplane song, like like White Rabbit or something, like completely serious and stone faced, and everyone was looking around like, what the fuck is going on right now? And then when we was done, he just sat back down, and like, I don't even know if he realized what was happening.
He's like, I'm just practicing for Burning Man next week.
Yeah, he was a weird guy, man. I hope he's alive.
I hope he's alive. It's like fucking has like a warehouse somewhere filled with mason jars filled with shit. Selling
Unfortunately, that's probably true.
selling it to college kids somewhere.
Yeah. No, Holland's college back in the day. I think that our college degrees actually don't mean anything now anymore. Like the school shut down and lost its accreditation or something.
Well, I was like, at least I guess it could still count like experience wise, I guess, but yeah. I mean, I don't know what kind of experience it would count for, but
Getting scammed.
counts for something. Dude, that's like I remember too on it was like cuz me, Matt and Chris or whatever had to present, our demo and stuff, and it was technically like cuz I worked at the school, it was like technically like my last day of school, so it was technically my last day of work. And it was like after our presentation, Matt's family wanted to take us all out to some like really hoity-toity like Italian place, and I was like, oh, dude, well, I have to go back to work. But I was also like, well, dude, I'm never gonna get a chance to eat at a place like this ever again. I was like, and they're paying for it. I was like, and it's not like it's like, what are you gonna do? Fire me? Because it's not like I work here
Yeah.
after today. So I was like, all right, fuck it. So like after the presentation, we all went out, and I just like, I got like a text message or something from like my boss like later that day, and she was like, dude, Justin, like, where are you? Like, we have people that like need shit like printed and like whatever in the print center, and like nobody's here to do it, and like blah blah blah. And I'm like, so like, who cares? Like, today was my last day. Like, you were gonna let me go anyway. It's not like I have to leave on good terms because it's not like I can ever work here again anyway. So it's like, who fucking cares? Like, I'm like, dude, I'm like 20. Like, what do you want from
Yeah.
me? Like,
Yeah.
but But yeah, and do you have a I was like, you could have just asked if we could wrap this up. Like
Oh, I
kept
don't
trying
know,
I'm
man.
like,
I don't know the professionalism status that you have.
like I know I was trying to end it in an hour and then I kept like bringing stuff up and then
Yeah,
I
no,
was
I don't
like,
mind. I like talking to you and stuff. Like this has been a blast. Honestly,
yeah.
I don't think we've actually had a conversation in like 8 years or something.
Yeah, I was like, it's usually just you telling me or Matt or someone that their opinions are shit and that they're like, no, this sucks and you're
Yeah.
wrong.
I miss actually the Talk Nerdy Facebook group. I wish that there would be more conversations that kind of died real fast.
Yeah, I was like, because I think like people moved to onto like Discord, shit, and like whatever, and I was like, yeah, I never kept up with it anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
but now it's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah. But all right, man. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. This has actually been a blast. Hopefully I don't have a lot of feedback on my mic. As this bougie setup I have with blankets in my closet.
I was like, and I do give you permission to coin the fact that you said bougie, since I told you it was
Yeah,
bougie.
I completely stole your words, but I don't think that was on the tape yet, so it didn't happen.
That's true. Fuck. That's how you get got.
Yep. Yep.
But is there like where can our listeners find your stuff?
All right. So this, like I said, thesnappingreviews.com. That's the site. There's movie reviews. There's some TV reviews. I actually started doing video game reviews also. But what I enjoy the most is doing news. Like I love actually taking news stories. Like the whole thing with Spider-Man and Sony and Disney has a lot of websites will just do clickbait stuff, like 2 paragraphs, a page full of ads, just telling you something. So I like to actually do my research. So if you're trying to find a good movie or a bad movie, or you just want to know what the hell's going on in the nerd industry, go to thesnappingreviews.com. I'm also on Twitter, The Snappening. I'm also on Facebook, The Snappening. And maybe, I don't know, we'll see how YouTube works out. If this experience is pretty good, maybe I'll start my own podcast. But as of right now, it's all just written reviews and written news.
I think you should. I think it would be good. I was like, and I'd listen to it, and I'd wear my shirt around and promote it.
Yeah, well, I think a lot more people are willing to check out like a 5-minute YouTube video than reading for 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, and it's like easy to like put on like at work or like something too to like listen to in the background and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Well, maybe next time if your podcast doesn't fail like Tanner's, maybe the next time that I'm on, I'll have something else to promote.
oh man, I was like, I plan on having Tanner back in like a couple episodes, so I'm gonna have to ask him how he felt about that if he got this far into it.
But all right, man, I will let you go. I got I don't know human life
to
stuff to do. Yeah.
I know how that goes.
Yeah, I'll
But
finish up my It Chapter 2 review, put it out there, so if anyone who's new comes to the site, that's the first thing you can see.
Alright, so look out for that. And that's been another episode. We're going to have another fun guest next week on the MOPOP podcast. And thanks for listening. That's a wrap, my Diglets.